Playing tennis this morning, Mike.
Yeah, I was playing tennis. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, I was right. It was dazzling.
I'm easily impressed.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Okay.
Things are going well. You're playing tennis in a park?
Oh,
Yeah.
racket
Holy
and-
cannoli.
Do you play the ones where you have to pay in advance or you just show up?
No, lad, you pay in advance. Are these on?
Yeah.
Yeah, we good.
You pay in advance? There was
Yeah.
quite a bit of like bravado when you said that.
Yeah.
Nah,
Yeah.
bro, you pay in advance.
Well, I paid
Man's
in
got a
advance.
debit card,
It
okay.
was £4 straight from my bank account. They take it. I don't know what they do with it, but I don't know who it is. Just Finsbury Park.
Yeah.
Tennis courts. And I go down and I play with Radu, who's Romanian, quite a tricksy player, you know. He's like,
Sneaky.
you know, Radu's a bit older than me. I probably have the athleticism over him, but he's
Guileful.
guileful, conniving, little tippy tap shots.
Conniving.
Right.
Conniving's a great
Yeah,
way to describe someone's tennis.
Malevolent.
He's real dastardly
Conniving
tennis player.
Yeah. Nadal was a real sneak.
Yeah.
He always used to.
Machiavellian. Yeah.
Well, you were listening to a Nadal interview recently, which
was-
to me is like,
Yeah.
he's never seemed like someone I wanted to listen to speak at length.
No, and do you know what? I listened to a whole audio book about Roger Federer that like was one of the most boring books I've ever read. and I listened to it, but it was just like, and then he won this, and then he won that, and the whole way through I was just like, yep, good.
Yeah.
And then he beat this piece of shit, and I was like, excellent, good. And it was so predictable and so monotone and boring, and I loved every bit of it.
Yeah.
So I love Federer. I think he's an angel on
Didn't he
earth.
have? I feel like he had a dip, didn't he, where he stopped winning Wimbledon.
Oh, yeah.
And then he came back. He was
Yeah.
like, and then he
No.
carried on.
He figured it out.
No,
yeah.
so basically, the Federer lore between 2003 and 2009, he was unbelievable. Like, he was the best player in
Yeah.
the world, and he was unbelievable. Nadal bet me in 08 in what's considered the greatest Wimbledon
That
final
was
of all
a good.
time.
I remember
Yeah,
that.
I remember
Wimbledon
that.
final.
I was in where people go, like Zante, Malia, one of those.
Yeah.
Magaluf.
Those
You were in
right.
Magaluf?
I was in Magaluf for the final of
So funny.
Nadal.
People are fingering all around you, and you're just watching the tennis.
Yeah,
It's gone to 5 sets. Stop,
It's a
guys.
tiebreak. It's a tiebreak.
yeah. I was on the piss actually while that was on as well. It was like, because that was 08, so it was like I was 18 and
It's
picture.
so funny. I was 12.
Right. Yeah.
Were you in Magaluf as well? This kid shouldn't be here.
You were a little fucking.
I was flying in Magaluf.
Yeah.
A
Are we
little
the same
busybody.
age? Are we the same age then?
I'm 34.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Me too.
Are you
Wow,
34?
That's fun.
Right.
Didn't know that. What month?
February.
August.
I feel like I'm
Right.
doing some kind of community project where I'm spending time with the elderly.
Yeah. Why don't you shut the
They
fuck
need
up,
company.
youngin?
All of their family are
I'll
dead.
tell you what it was like back in 1990.
Yeah. Well, you were 1990. I'm 91. Right. So
Oh, okay.
So you're 35 in August.
Yeah.
Nice.
Busted.
All right. But so yeah, we're basically
That
the
was
same age.
such
Oh, that
sick
sucks because I thought
podcasting.
I was younger than you,
Right.
Because you said February, but then obviously you would be.
Yeah, it's
30
flipped.
Yeah,
That's right.
It's
Unlucky,
March.
brother.
March is always catching me
He's
out.
barely 34.
I'm barely 30. I'm such a young. I'm a little 34 baby.
You're the year below me.
Yeah.
Okay, right.
In the group of 34s, I'm a little baby. I'm a little baby. I'm a little.
Although it might
Wah.
depend, because English schooling is slightly different to Irish schooling. I'm not sure how it works in the South, but you guys, the oldest people in your year would be September births.
Yeah.
Oldest people in my
Youngest.
year, July births.
Ooh, that's weird.
So we work by the end of the school year rather than the start of the school year.
Right.
Okay, so youngest. Wait, so oldest is July. Youngest is June.
Yeah. I don't know why that took you a second to work out. That's
I'm not. I never claimed to be an intelligent man.
Don't pop this down in calendar shit. People are killing themselves right now. Shut up.
This is good stuff.
Come.
You started
Cocaine,
the
come
date stuff.
on.
But
you
in the
started with your
South,
Federer
is it
story.
July?
Who gives it? No one cares. Come on. Back to me playing tennis.
Yeah.
Against Machiavellian Romanian.
You're lobbing
Radu.
volleys. So Radu is also a chess player.
No, yeah. And
So, maybe that makes him more
100%.
He's thinking 5 shots ahead.
That's right. He's strategic. He is. It's
He's got
true.
the angles all mapped
It's
out.
hard to be play tennis in a chess style because you have to run and hit the clock in between shots.
Yeah, he's a chess master, so he does things
Actually,
strategically.
just very good at chess.
He's ranked.
Wow.
Yeah, he plays
ranked in
around.
chess. Yeah.
That's fucking crazy.
Right. So he just like fucking smokes weed and then is just like fucking playing some little 12-year-old in Japan. For
Is there
hours
money
every
to
day.
be made? Because I know people who are very good at poker and they're just playing like 5 poker games in night time making shitloads of money. But like, can
Yeah.
you do that on chess?
If you decide with the little 12-year-old Japanese boy, if you're like, hey, whoever wins gets 10 grand, then you can make some.
Yeah.
Right? But I don't think it's inherent in the
There's a gap
thing.
in the market
'Cause
here.
poker is inherently gambling, where,
Yeah.
you know, it's absolute dog shit. You ever play poker for nothing? It just means it's absolutely pointless.
There's no tension, there's no
tension. There's
jeopardy.
no. It's
Pride.
yeah. Not even though. You know what I mean? It's just like, this is lame that
Well,
we're
we did
doing
that a
this.
lot when I was a teenager. We played with the like little plastic pieces
Chips.
for
The
no
little
money.
chips.
Yeah.
But even
Right.
then, like for no money, but having those chips is
yeah.
like
Without stuff. Yeah. What's the point?
Yeah.
Right. You need money, you need the tension. I was a semi-pro. I thought I was a
Whoa.
full pro poker player. Yeah.
Really?
Yes. From about the age of like 18 to 20, maybe 17 to 20, I was like, I am going to be a full-time poker player.
Wow.
I spent my nights and weekends in casinos with strange ne'er-do-wells, just old kind of greasy characters, and we'd be out smoking cigarettes and then come in and I'd win money. I remember one time the guy just being like, shouldn't you be out like, you know, like chasing women or doing something? And I'm just like, I have to make a living, brother. You know?
You two at 18 is so funny. Him playing poker with fucking strange men
A fella
smoking on
called
the
Jojo,
street.
who's a nasty little man.
And you watching tennis in a nightclub.
Yeah. I had this guy
Yeah.
called Jojo who used to think he'd slow roll you. I don't know if you know this, but it's very bad poker etiquette. So you'd be he's this owl lad, little bitter old man.
Is this in Dublin when you were at uni?
No. This will be back in Kilkenny now on the weekends. Because I'd be back in Kilkenny, so I used to work a night shift because I was a dishwasher in a New Park hotel. So I'd be there, just terrible at my job. Everyone, you know, the manager's this lad again, and I'm like, I'm here. Give me some money. I won't work hard. And
You went home every weekend from college?
Yeah, because I had a job at my hotel in Kilkenny. It's an hour and a half home. It's not like
Yeah,
that
yeah,
big a
yeah.
deal. So I went back, fucking earning a living. You know, Dolly Parton saying 9 to 5. I was back there.
Definitely getting your laundry done.
Huh?
Definitely getting your laundry done
By my mother.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, big time. I'm getting a lot of hugs if I'm honest with you.
Dude, yeah. People
Kiss-
don't talk about that.
They don't talk about that.
For a reason.
Hell yeah.
I've been starved of affection for the whole week, and then I'm home and I'm just hugging up, brother.
Yeah.
I'm getting fucking hugs with
Loading
a
up
Z.
on
Little
hugs.
XP bars just topping
Oh.
out with hugs.
Yeah.
Oh, lad, apple tart, hugs, bit of custard. It was like fucking Paris in the 20s, you know? It was,
So when you say
yeah.
So many hugs.
in what way?
The
Hugs at the
opulence.
weekend, obviously.
Just the opulence, you
Hugs
know?
and apple tart. That's what people say about Paris in the 20. It was lots of hugs and apple tart.
That is the only thing people say about
Yeah,
Paris in the 20s.
that's right. Hemingway, Scott Fitzgerald, all these guys.
That's how he got so creative.
Yeah,
he was so cared for.
You must come to Paris.
The
You-
Uggs.
the apple tart.
Come here, mademoiselle.
Yeah, but so I'd work doing my dishwashing job. I'm terrible at every job I've ever done. So you're kind of in there. I'm shifting around, seeing how little I could do. It's a terrible way to exist, really. It's not
Kitchen portering, pot washing type thing.
pot washing, and then I'd be like polishing cutlery. You just put like, but you have we had a machine for this. You put it all through this machine and it goes, and then the cutlery comes out kind of clean.
Oh, because see,
right,
polishing
right.
cutlery and like stuff like that is quite a fun task actually. If you have like 3 of you doing it, because then it's just like a nice group convo and you're all just like menially
Assembly
doing a
line
task.
stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's nice.
Nice.
But solo doing any of those things is a real brutal horror.
Yeah, that's real suicide stuff. You're
Yeah.
lucky you had all this weekend compassion.
That's
Yeah,
right.
the
And
And you
hugs-
wouldn't be here.
no
Yeah,
way.
yeah.
Working. Wait, so you're doing nights as a dishwasher.
So-
when are you doing poker?
Dishwasher till about 12 at night, so midnight, and then
you go to the
and
casino.
then I go to the casino.
12 at night till midnight.
Right.
Sorry,
So,
just the
yeah,
12 at
midnight. You
night.
got it.
Yeah.
So
Whoa.
right. So and then I go to the casino and then I play with. There's this.
the
this
Kilkenny Casino. Can I just understand what that looks like?
it's just a place where you go in and you fucking.
Is it like a casino, like a high street, like small room?
It's
casino?
hard to find. Like they had it in this like weird back room of a place. I don't know if
Yes,
there was
I
like a
thought back
handshake to
room.
get in, but it was like they were not really advertising it, and there was these
You
little
had to bring a
brothers.
hug and an apple tart.
Yeah. so there was like these little brothers who ran it, who looked like kind of little members of the Addams family. They're kind of scurrying around, little kind of goth men, but they were kind of quiet, but kind of like, they're like, oh, come in. Da, da, da. But there was like, what's going on with you? They seemed like they were like, oh, you have pet bats.
How did you initially get into it? Was it one of the nefarious characters from the kitchen who showed you the ways of the casino?
No way, brother. I if anything, I was corrupting the staff in there towards gambling. I was like, come with me, come with me. I was like the Pied Piper, bringing all the waiters off to the casino, taking their money. But so I was into poker already. I was watching it online all the time, and I was like, and I would have house games with all my friends. We all played, and then I got really into it, and I was like, I think I'm gonna be. I mean, pro. I'd be like thinking I can read what you have in your hand. I'd be looking at Spicer.
It's a microphone.
Like, right.
This guy's good.
This guy's fucking good.
I was trying to style it out.
Yeah. Right.
Could be anything.
But then there was
Three of Hearts.
But so then I'd go up, and then it was just me and these weird old people. A strange way to spend your Saturday nights, but there's just these kind of weird, strange old people who had like kind of, this was their social life, and they kind of smelled like maybe they like live with a lot of cats and stuff, and they'd be kind of in there, and then this fella Jojo, who we all hated. He's just this old guy from the south of Kilkenny where I'm from, so he's kind of like a farmer type, so he would come in kind of with cow shit on him, kind of like, and he just kind of make noises like, and then you'd be in a hand with him, and this could be a hand for a lot of money, and then at the end of the hand,
what's a lot of money? Just
like
for
it
context.
could be like 300 quid or
hell.
yeah.
18, that's fucking wild.
It was wild. I had some big win. I won a tournament for like $2,000. I thought I was Rockefeller. Oh, I thought I was the king of France.
$2,000 is such a crazy amount of money when you're 18.
Wild.
When I was 19, I got a $2,000 tax rebate, and it was one of the best days of my whole life. Because all the jobs I was doing was like pay as you earn, and they had me on some emergency tax code, so I was paying way too much tax.
Yeah.
And then I did the tax return, like self-assessment, and they were like, "Oh, we owe you $2,000," and I was like, "Is this what tax returns are like?"
I remember the first
So
job
nice.
I got out of uni. I got like an admin job, and when I got the paycheck came through, and I was like, I couldn't believe that was my money. I couldn't believe that. I was like, I'd had jobs before, but never like a full-time proper job. I was like, this is all mine. I was just waiting for someone to come around and take it.
Yeah.
Right. I was thinking like $2,000. I was like, I genuinely thought, I was like, I don't think I have to work again.
Yeah.
So
if I invest this cleverly,
right,
I can live on rice.
I can live around.
I like rice.
I am right.
I am right. Even more than liking it, I am it. So then I was like, I could move to Bali, start, some retirement village out there with some like weird old English guys who.
So are you Horatio's dad?
Exactly.
Is that what he does?
Horatio's dad lives in Bali and runs like a retreat.
Oh my
Yeah.
God, the dream.
He's just out there being
But
a
he's like an East
millionaire.
End geezer.
Yeah.
Right.
It's so mad.
With like a Russian wife, like 30 years his junior. Nice.
Yeah.
I
That
see.
was your dream, but you couldn't have done that at 18.
I can't do it right now,
No,
but
that would be really
Sign up to the Patreon.
4-year-old Russian wife.
4-year-old Russian.
Sign up to
Did
the
pretty well for
Patreon.
myself.
Oh yeah, it's cool when Horatio's dad does it, but then when I do it, suddenly, all right. But so
Sign up to the Patreon so we can buy Mike a 4-year-old Russian wife.
don't do that. Come on, brothers. But then like Russian dolls, but the opposite way. Insider is an older. Do you know what I mean?
An older
There's
man.
An older man. Hey, come on, brother.
Little men all the way down.
But this is very quickly to end the poker story. Jojo would do this thing where there could
Slow
be
rolling, you said.
slow rolling. So what it is like there'd be 300 quid in the pot, right? And then at the end of the pot, it might be me and Jojo will say in the pot, and then he'll kind of go, so 5 cards on the table, and he'll kind of look at you as in like, what do you have? And then you'll go, all right, you'll fold over, I have 2 pair, and then he'll go, all right, and then he'll put over, and he has the best possible hand. So it's like, which is completely terrible etiquette. It's like, you have the best hand, you flip him up straight away and be like, yeah, obviously I'm winning the money. But he gives you the idea that you might have won this, and then he'll just go, "Nyeh," and he'd make that little noise, "Nyeh," like that.
I quite like
And he'd
that.
be like,
That's
"No."
a good control
But
of dramatic tension.
aren't you supposed to like wind people up and get them angry? Because then they're less good at poker.
He's playing you like a violin, man.
It's bad etiquette. It's bad etiquette, Spicer, and you get yourself
But is that
fucking
not the
thumped
way to
with
build
that
a
attitude.
tension?
Kenny, because you know you'd be in trouble.
I already would be, I'm sure.
Those little Adams family lads, they'd be fucking roughing you up, brother.
I wouldn't be slow rolling anyone.
No way.
So if you know you've got like a royal flush,
Yeah,
that's good. That's the best, isn't it?
That's as good as you can get.
You turn over first and go like,
obviously when it comes up, all the betting's over. You just go, here, look. Obviously, like, I win.
Then maybe you're setting yourself up to look like a fool. You know, if you go bang and then you reach for it and then goes and then
right. So there's the nuts, the second nuts, the third nut. So the nuts is the best hand you can have, right? Second nuts is the second best. Third is third best. With any of the top three, you're almost certainly winning. It's what's called. It'd be called like a fucking a bad hand or something. Like if someone has the nuts versus
a bad hand,
a bad beat. It might be called a bad beat or something.
Just the way you like searched around your brain for poker terminology and came up with a bad hand.
Slight generic.
And you know what? And what I said was wrong.
And I had what we in poker call a pretty good hand. Whoa.
No, I think actually it's called a bad beat then, or I can't remember the exact thing, but it's when you have an unbelievable hand and someone has a slightly better one, and you're going to lose all your money. There's just no way around it. It's like if you pocket aces and someone else's pocket kings, you're probably all your money's going to go in before the flop because they're the two best hands you can have, and both you're going to be really cocky, but you've just been done. Like it's just you've just been done by the universe.
Yeah.
And that's
in this situation when you're getting slow rolled. That's the exact same thing, but in Alaska.
Yeah.
This guy's fucking snow rolling me.
Just dressed as an Eskimo, just
in the Kilkenny casino.
That's igloo poker you're playing.
Yeah.
Am I playing igloo poker right now? This guy's snow rolling me. When you're getting slow rolled, you've both gone all in, right?
Yes.
So there's nothing more that can possibly happen.
No, it's the end of the hand. So it's like so we're showing the hands at the end, and it's just
it's not necessarily both gone all in, but you've both like called.
You bet as much as you've got to bet. Like, they've raised and you've called, or they've raised or. Whatever. It's the end of the hand and you're showing them up. So it's just rude and it's nasty. And Jojo is a nasty little cow shit covered, miserable little man. And you'd always want to fucking do him over. But he was.
And how old was he then?
I feel like he was 113 years old.
So dead now.
I think he was one of the oldest men alive at that time. And he was living on pure spite. Just pure fuck. Like his only nourishment was fucking people over.
Yeah.
Little bastard. Fuck you, Jojo. If you're listening, fuck you, brother. I never liked you. No one else did either. Hope you're fucking broken, dead in a ditch. There you go. Sorry. There's also a little woman, Josephine, she was
a lot of Joes kicking about here.
Yeah, she was up to all sorts of tricks as well. But we have to introduce Patrick Spicer.
This is Patrick Spicer.
Oh yeah,
hi. we always forget to do that.
As if anyone was listening the whole way through, they'd be like, "Who is this guy?" I just come in to listen whenever Mike has a poker story.
Thanks, lads. See you later. You just disappear.
You just leave now. Yeah.
I'm just thinking of getting into poker. See you later.
Yeah, I know how I would play now if I was playing you. That's all I would do.
Snow rolling.
I'd just snow roll the whole time. I'd just be snow rolling you.
Yeah, because then you would get me poker terminology again on tilt.
Yeah, or in real poker terminology, annoyed.
Yeah, that's right. On tilt, you're like fucking, you're fuming, and you're just like,
you're riled up, and
well, that's what I feel like when I used to watch. What was it, World Series of Poker, the one they had in whatever it's called? It was like one of the only things that was on Freeview late at night.
Yeah.
So you just watch it, and I remember because they're all American, and sometimes one of them would just wind everybody up, just be this big, like annoying, braggadocious prick. And I was always like, why aren't they kicking that person out? Why is that not against the rules? But then they would often win.
That's right. So they all.
So I guess that's the idea. Is like, you want to piss people off as much as you possibly can, because then you're making moves emotionally rather than right. See, this is one thing Radu would never do.
No way,
because he'd be.
He's Eastern Bloc.
Yeah, that's
right. He's Eastern Bloc. That's what I meant.
Yeah.
He's locked in, you know.
No, but so there is a strategy. That is a strategy that some people, very famously, a guy called Tony G, is this Australian little fucking swamp monster who was on the he is a little swamp monster.
Shout out Tony G if
you
you're
gotta
watching.
look him up. He's Australian, but I feel like he's of like fucking. He is of Slavic descent. There's a kind of a,
which is fine.
Yeah,
and we like that.
Yeah, we love it.
The tone was off, but that was actually a positive.
Immediately following Swamp Monster was maybe a misstep.
Was it Slavic descent?
Hold on now. I don't have to like clear up the fact, you know, Russians and Eastern Europeans are some of the most beautiful people alive. But there's swamp monsters there too. One of them's name is Tony G, but he was raised in Australia, and I think that's where the swamping happened. So I would blame more the Aussie way of life.
Yes, yeah,
for swampifying this man.
He's of Slavic descent, but you're not spending any time on it.
I'm not spending any time on it. Yeah, that's right.
It's an unrelated fact that you're keeping in the back of your mind.
Let there be 1,000 blossoms balloons.
Yeah,
I don't get that.
I'm not spending any time on it.
Funny. The change in his face. It's one of the best turns in history.
That's
it's
real.
incredible.
Oh, God.
I would put up that with like just amazing natural comedy where someone's not trying to be funny. Is that Kanye West clip where he's like,
he notices he's smiling.
Yeah, and he just goes, and he was a doctor, and he's just like, and I'm not allowed to say what kind of doctor, and he's like, it was a Jewish doctor.
Oh yeah. I'm not. As soon as he realizes, I thought you were saying that. You know that meme? It's like him. He's posing for a photo, and he's and then he suddenly realizes and he goes. He just suddenly gets really serious. He would never smile in a picture.
But
Tony G.
But Tony G is this swampish little guy who'd just be like, he's like, I'm in your head. He's like, you've made 6 bad decisions in a row. So was he Australian? Was he South African?
That was South African.
I think he might be in South Africa.
That's a really good South African.
But he's like, I'm in your head. He's like, you're gonna make another mistake. You can't beat me. He's like, I know what you've got. You don't know what I have. He's like, I'm in it, and then he just like, if people like did a certain play, he's just like, how can you do that? He's like, you're shit. You're a bad player. You're stupid. You're dumb. You're gonna lose all your money. Like he'd just be getting people would be just he'd be fucking right.
That's the most like
crazy.
That's the most wind up merchant thing ever. Is like a false like concern.
Yeah.
For like, mate, you're already around. Like you don't know what's going on here. Like. Man,
buddy, I'm worried. I can help you.
Exactly.
I can help. Just fold. I would fold when he looks at me.
That's right.
I don't have the spine for
Sorry,
anything
Tony.
like that. Literally. We were last weekend, me and some friends were playing, what's the Traitors Werewolf?
Yeah, that equivalent.
Where you have to pretend.
Wink Murder Werewolf. Werewolf is,
You know, it's like...
I love the Traitors.
It's basically
the exact same thing.
just the round table of the...
So you have... Like 2 out of 6 get to be...
You don't know The Traitors is based on just like a children's game called Werewolf or Wink Murder or like lots of different names.
Fucking way.
That's literally all it is.
Claudio Winkle Murderman.
You can have that. Yeah.
I think that was good. I think that was a good bit of business, actually.
Winkle Murderman. Yeah. Off the top of the head. I mean, if you'd had 10 minutes on it would have been judged more harshly.
Yeah, I wouldn't put it in the show, but like it's good.
It's getting edited.
I thought when I said it, I might get taken down for this one by the boys. But you've been very gracious and I appreciate it.
No. I'm not a Tony G. I would be genuinely playing with you, being like, you're doing real well, man. You're crushing me.
Tony G be like, Claudia Winkle Murderman. You thought that was a good pun? That was shit. You're stupid. You're not funny. Why would you think this is a good career for you? You're an idiot. Yeah, man. Tony G. And then there's a guy, Phil Hellmuth, who's another big, loud-mouthed fucking guy. But he's like the McEnroe of poker. She's just like, how could you call that? How could you call that with that hand? And he's just like, you're an idiot. I'm playing with morons. And he's like just going around constantly furious. He has these sunglasses on and he's standing up over the table like this, looking at the hand. And but it's great for TV.
Oh yeah.
Because it makes you mad to watch.
That's right.
Just play poker. What was your style? Were you?
No, I wasn't mountain, but
were you?
No. I was, but I thought I was quite aggressive. I would bluff quite a bit, and then I was good at reading people relatively well. But it's impossible. The thing is with poker, and I was pretty good at it. It's kind of it's easier when you're playing against good players because you can actually in some way predict what they'll do. If you're playing against someone who's dog
doesn't
shit,
really know the rules,
you haven't a clue what they're at because they don't know what they're at.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
That's me playing poker.
How can you get inside there and they're not there?
No idea what's going on. I think I've never.
All in, whatever.
Fuck off. What about that?
I don't want to play poker anymore.
That was 7.
Yeah.
Fuck off.
Yeah, fuck off.
That was always my strategy with poker is I didn't want to really be playing poker. I wanted to like carry on drinking or do something else.
Yeah,
so then
yeah.
I'd just be going all in all the time, and then as soon as you're done, you get to go do something else.
I think if I got into poker, it would be a real black hole for me. I think that feels something I would be liable to spend all of my time doing.
Well, with your brain of, you know, beep, boop, boop,
I like
boop,
counting things.
beep,
Yeah.
boop, boop, boop. I think poker would be an overload of beep, boop, boop, boop. And then taking in that you have to try read other people.
That's
as well.
where I would struggle.
That'd be tough on
that
you.
would be the difficult
Facial
one.
expressions.
Where I go, no, he is crying, but what does it mean?
Yeah.
He's having a good time. Okay, let's go.
So you've recently got this great thing where, because you're often unmoved by watching things, but then there was, what's this show that tells you what's happening?
Dragon Ball.
Dragon Ball.
What do you mean they tell you what happened?
At the end of every episode of Dragon Ball, the narrator
They
says,
say Goku was sad.
Goku feels this about this.
Really?
This person feels this about this. And I nearly cry every time at that bit.
Because if you don't tell him, he doesn't know.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? Like if there's people just sat at the end, he's not picking
There's
that
an
up.
episode of Dragon Ball Z, spoilers, it's like the first episode, like the second episode of Dragon Ball Z maybe. Goku gets killed, and then his son Gohan
Yeah.
is like, obviously
He gets
like,
killed by Frieza, right?
Kakarot is Goku's name. Yeah, I can't fucking
I
remember.
only slight meander. I only watched it. I watched like 12 episodes in a row when my mum was in hospital when I was like 12. She like hurt her shoulder, and they had like one of those little TVs, and I didn't have Cartoon Network at home, so I just watched 12 in a row.
Right.
And it was one arc which was Goku charging up. And it was literally like 8 episodes of him being like, oh! And then Frieza saying this and be like, whoa, this isn't going to be good.
That's later on. So this is early Dragon Ball Z. But then I kind of discovered that there's Dragon Ball, which is like the first one. From 1986. And can I just say, like, everybody involved in the making of Japanese cartoons is a fucking pervert.
Oh!
It's crazy.
Every single person.
It's mad. It's
Some people are just
mad.
doing trees in the background.
These are people Radu's playing chess with. Be very careful.
Goku is a small boy in the first episode of Dragon Ball, like 1986 when it comes out, and his dick and balls are in episode 1.
Oh, what the hell?
Yeah.
Come on
They
now.
drew those.
Like, it's pretty basic dick and balls drawing, but his dick and balls are in it.
But you're sexualizing that. The thing is, children
But there's a...
we had dick and balls when we were 4.
Do you need to see them? Does it move the plot forward in any way?
This is what you got to ask the creators. Maybe there's, you know, some
And they
symbolism.
very much sexualize the lady in it, whose name I can't remember, with the blue hair. There's a lot of establishing shots of a scene that maybe should tell you the location of the scene, but the opening shot is her tits.
Or a cock and balls of a child.
Now
Imagine
I'm
if
in.
you're doing stand-up and in the story there was a little boy, and then you described what you thought the little boy's cock and balls might
Should
look
I not
like.
do that? Should I take that out? That's I'm closing with that right now.
My
Just describing
friend-
in details.
My friend had a one-man play that he wrote where he was talking about the first time he wanked, and he described his own cock and balls as a child in the...
That's okay, that's his cock
But
and balls.
then he was like,
right.
but I'm placing the image of a child's penis and balls into your mind. Is this not child porn?
Right.
It
No.
was quite a good play.
Was it?
Yeah, he was
That
in a
makes
bag.
you a pedo, no?
He was in
Yeah.
a
To have
bag.
enjoyed it? Does it? Does it make you a pedo to have enjoyed it?
Does it make me a pedo to want to see it? Does it make...
Does it make them pedos for listening?
This is
frantically
this is
Googling
how I imagine you play poker. Is going, well, a very pedo-y move. That was. What are you calling that? Big pedo vibes. Don't mean to be rude, but that's what pedos do. So
You're a pedo, mate. You're a pedo. You fancy children, and now you're playing cards with us, but you're not going to win because the bad guys don't win. What are you going to do? Spend it on buying a child from Thailand, is it? Give me your money. Perfect, Tony G. You couldn't know that, but it is.
couldn't know that. I'm
No.
gonna Google it.
I
I'll
bet there'll
find
be
out.
people who will comment about Tony G and poker and general televised poker. I was mad into it. Can I just have a little segue here? Because I want to talk to Spicer.
We've
You
been
don't have
talking
to ask
the whole
permission.
time. Do you don't think this was
So I have
talking?
to ask him, because if I talk to people without permission, he starts smashing things off my head. He has he just starts fucking freaking out and just going, no.
As in, are you asking permission for Vittorio not to be involved in the conversation?
I
that
would
we have?
love, maybe if you go like, do some knitting or something.
Go prone.
No, I was going to say, because I feel like you're like the London kind of the Brian Johnson. You know? Do you know who Brian Johnson is?
No.
The guy's trying to live forever?
He's the guy who's trying to live forever. I feel like you're trying to live forever.
What do you mean?
Do you know this Brian Johnson fan?
The freaky guy with the like plastic face.
Yes.
He looks exactly as old as he is.
He keeps comparing cock sizes with his son.
Yes.
What?
That's like part of his research.
Wait, does it make me a pedo to know that?
Stop making me a pedo.
We've been on tin pedo ice this whole fucking app. This has been
pedo ice.
We're snow rolling on thin pedo ice.
No rolling on thin pedo ice.
So he's like drinks his son's blood, I think, or his son's cum. I'm not sure.
But I think it's his piss. Doesn't he drink his son's piss?
He could be drinking his son's piss, or he could be. So he's out of his mind, really.
Yeah.
But he kind of has his boners measured every night by someone's hired to like
the firmness of his cock.
Right.
The firmness.
Yes.
Right.
So
like like mattresses.
Yeah.
Yeah, what's the like tog for duvets?
Yeah.
There's a
thread
mattress
count on his
thread count.
Thread count on his cock. It's
on his cock, unfortunately.
That's on his cock.
I'm afraid to say. I've got some bad news. And he is checking the thread count of his cock every night. I hate to be the one to tell you. That's insane. What is it? Is he trying to get firmer, or is he trying to stay where he's at?
I think it's like maximum firmness.
Maximum firmness. So
what?
You don't want to be that. I mean, that's uncomfortable.
He posts about like my cock's harder than my son's cock.
Yeah. He's just like,
what is the?
I actually
which is bullying.
I do quite like the parental psyching out of that. Like, I feel like if my dad started tweeting that his dick was harder than mine, I would retweet it every single time.
But you wouldn't respect it because he doesn't have the numbers. Brian Johnson's got the numbers.
That's true.
Doing the research.
That is punching down.
Facts don't care about your feelings.
But is he talking about like is it in a Ray Winstone way? I wonder though. Is this my cock's harder than your cock?
Like it's
my cock's I have a tougher cock.
Yeah, like
do you think that's what he might be trying to say? Do you know what I mean? Like my cock runs this town.
Yeah,
my cock.
No, keep going. I'm genuinely fascinated to know where this is going.
Keep the riff going.
My cock's in a feud with the Albanians. My cock is got in big trouble with the Albanians.
My cock started a dogfighting ring.
Does your cock live on green lanes?
My cock supports Millwall. Millwall supporter, yeah.
So that probably is what this guy means.
So is that what do you think that's what he means?
That's what American Brian Johnson means.
That's what he means.
Yeah,
I think it could be.
Real hard
my cock's harder than my son's. How old is his son?
His son is
6. No, he stars in Dragon Ball.
That's when he found out.
Yeah.
Look at that flappy fucking piece of meat. Right, let's check it.
No, his son is like 20. His son, because I watched a documentary recently, and his son is going off to college, and he loves his son is fucking. Oh, what's his? Did you watch it, the doc?
No, I've seen bits.
His son's name is escaping me right now, but he loves his son because the rest of his children don't talk to him because he's a freaky vampire man.
Yeah.
So stop trying to suck my cock, Dad.
Right.
I don't think it needs an explanation of why they don't talk to him.
Well, see, they were all Mormons.
Of fucking course they don't. They were Mormons.
They were all Mormons, and he was a Mormon, and then he left the Mormon religion to be like a blood-sucking, eternal living vampire man, and then the rest of the family stayed.
It's so hard to leave Mormonism to a weirder thing.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean?
That's right.
To be like, this is more fucking bizarre.
But also, he was just like, this Mormon stuff, he said, he's like, just stop making sense to me. And then it's just like, but drinking my son's piss. That started to really add up.
Yeah.
So he goes off, he leaves Mormon religion to start.
Maybe it's like a PR exercise by the Mormon church to stop people leaving Mormonism.
Right.
They're like, if you leave our teachings, you'll turn into this.
To this.
Like they pay him $2 million a year just to do increasingly mental stuff. It's like, I'm drinking my cum now. And all because I don't believe in
the tenets of Joseph Smith. Is that it?
Well, Joey Smith, surely one of the biggest chancers to ever.
What, the 14-year-old who went, I spoke to God, but he doesn't have Facebook. Fuck off.
Yeah.
That's what it said on those plates. It said, do not drink your son's piss. Don't ever do that. He was like, Joseph Smith, fuck that.
Did do the like, oh, I have kissed a girl, but she goes to a different school. You don't know her. Like that was his method of being like, no, I'm the only guy that can read these things.
But didn't most of those divine revelation things happen without a big crowd? Wasn't it always just some dude came from the woods and was like, God just talked to me, and everyone was like, okay,
right?
Yeah, back in the day, it seemed much more blaggable, didn't it?
But there was no.
Yeah,
we didn't have Instagram back then.
No, right.
Do you think there's gonna be because when was Joseph Smith? 18 something?
Early 1800s, yeah.
See, because I feel like since is it the camera phone that really put a stop to that? Because people still say that they met God, but you just don't really listen to them,
right?
Yeah. Or it's like on Toast or stuff.
Or DMT, like they've just like gone and spoken to like some triangles for a bit.
Yeah.
But there was a basic time though before the technological state we're in where people were genuinely waiting for the return of Jeezy Crazy, and next thing they'd be like, all right, we saw Mary, and people did believe in visions. They believed truly that Jesus rose from the dead. So it was in the realms of kind of possibility. Yeah, I was down the backfield there. Mary turned up. She said, and they generally never said that and knew the apparitions. They were just kind of like, she said just keep, loving each other and giving money to the church, and
Could we get away? Could we get away with it? Could we you know what I mean?
What?
Is there a way you could get away with a new apparition and make a bit of cash?
Well, I think people
it?
are doing that like every day. Every day, someone
The
is like
toast thing
going
is
on
very
YouTube
common,
or something, being
yeah.
like, "I've talked to God," but just no one. No, we'll be cynical forever. There's no way, unless there was some just like it happened with a million cameras trained on it, and it was. But then everyone would just be like, this is just AI.
That's right.
Yeah, and I'm watching it.
No one's ever going to believe
God's
that
probably
again.
sitting up there being like, I have absolutely no idea how to reach these people anymore because they're too cynical.
I'm watching a series called The Capture. Oh my God, on Netflix. It's a BBC show, but it's on Netflix now.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it's all about this guy being like framed by a fake CCTV and like how, like there's no way we're trusting CCTV in the next 5 years.
No way.
I don't trust it now, brother.
How often does that come up for you? That you're reviewing CCTVs?
Me, I just don't. But I think CCTV. They've been. I was looking at. I think. Do you know the guy in North Korea, that the American guy who like stole a poster and then they handed him back to America in like a coma and then he died. Do you know that guy?
No,
dude, he's a good fella. But he went,
not anymore.
Good guy.
He went to North Korea and then they say that he stole a poster from the wall of a hotel, and so he was sentenced to 15 years hard labor in North Korea. And the Americans, I guess it was Trump in at the time, like you would think they would just come and be like save him, but they didn't. And then it's crazy when you see the sentence being given to him. He's just sobbing, crying, please, it's gonna ruin my life, I'm sorry for what I did. And you're like, fuck, this is tough. And anyway, a year and a half later, and then there's just all these North Koreans just completely unmoved, just looking at him like, we must punish you now. And then a year and a half later, they give him back to America, just like basically dead.
Because we had the chief Rob Moriarty on the pod, and he's been to North Korea.
Has he?
He has, like a tourist. They closed that recently.
What?
Can't go to North Korea anymore.
No more chief in North Korea.
Well, not just for him, but like.
All right. I thought they put a chief ban. They found out he was gay, and they were like, not letting that happen again.
We had a loophole. We got to close.
Yeah,
no
more tourists in North Korea.
Yeah.
I don't want to go to North Korea. That's okay.
No way. And now, because Chief was in North Korea, now he can't. Like, if he wanted to go to America, he'd have to fucking pass a load of tests and drink his son's piss and all sorts of stuff.
Yeah. So you think I'm like that guy?
No, this is it, and I want to get this because you, because like we're the same age. You're looking better, and and I think you're
for the listeners.
Yeah. So Spicer, I feel like you're the healthiest man in comedy.
Oh, that's nice.
I think.
Yeah.
That's because you haven't drank in 6 years.
Yeah.
Am I right in that?
7 years.
Don't brag about it. 6.
No, 6. It was 6.
It was 6.
Yeah.
So then you haven't drank in 6 years. No caffeine.
No caffeine.
We offered him a Coke Zero today. Nearly got sick.
Yeah.
Nearly puked
I nearly
on
walked
me.
out.
He punched me.
I thought, what kind of podcast is this? Sweetness? No way.
And then food wise, would you ever have an old burger?
Yeah. But I eat a
lot of lunch boxes in your life.
I think almost all the things I do are because I want to do things a lot. Right. So like I don't drink because I couldn't stop drinking. I just if I started drinking, I would keep drinking.
Were you an alcoholic?
I don't know. I don't like using the word alcoholic because I feel like
valor.
it denotes. Yeah. Right. Yeah, stolen valor. I don't want people thinking I was cooler than I was.
Charles Bukowski, writing fucking
it just didn't
poems in a gutter.
It was like, I would say I didn't feel like I had control over it.
Yeah.
In the sense that I drank almost every single night, and I mainly drank by myself. So I would come home from work and I would just get really drunk.
Strong.
I didn't want to do it with other people.
Right.
But I didn't I wouldn't drink in the morning. You didn't have a rock
bottom moment?
Not really.
Yeah,
no.
I think that's tricky.
I didn't have I would lose everything. I just had I was really bad at my job. I
think they just call it a functioning alcoholic.
Yeah.
I pissed on my friend's mother. I pissed on my good friend's mother.
Did you?
That's
yeah.
true.
So maybe you should
continue to drink.
That's not rock bottom.
I had my rock bottom 12 years ago. And I had the balls to plow on.
Yeah. Well, good luck to you, I think.
No, because I am flirting with the idea of not drinking at the minute. I had a few drinks over the weekend, and I swear to God, I've been in the fucking dancing around the seven circle of hell since.
We're a very depressed podcast these days.
Yeah.
The last episode, because we had some drinks over the weekend, we were very down.
The two of us, we were two little sad sacks of shite. And you're a happy man. Look at you over there. You're beaming. You're glowing.
Yeah, I would say almost everything I do is to try and not be anxious or sad.
Nice.
So drinking, you think drinking makes you happy. You think that it adds loads of value to your life and it makes it all shiny and sparkly. But
stop talking.
I wouldn't speak
right
to
now.
everybody. But for me, it was just a false thought. That just wasn't true. It would make me miserable. And the only thing it would really do is relieve the craving. It would just be I would just think all the time about drinking. And then while I was drinking, I wouldn't worry about it. But the next morning I'd be
fucked.
Right.
And I'd be I need to drink again. And it, over time, I forget all the brain chemistry of it, but it's there's with booze, when you first start, it does release loads of dopamine. It makes you really happy. But over time, your brain adapts until it releases no dopamine whatsoever. So you get no mood lifts right when you do it abuse. That's what happens with these guys in the street who just can't, it doesn't make them happy. It's the same as smoking.
You say those homeless people aren't happy?
Some of them are having a great time.
I saw one actually, literally. I was this made me think I should be homeless. He was sitting outside of Sainsbury's like this, and he had his leg up kind of like that. And he was smoking a fag, and I walked past, and he just said,
"For the listener, lying down with his leg
kind of cocked up, kind of showing his cock and ball, crotch." And then I was walking in Sainsbury's, and he goes, "Oh, hello." and I was like, "This guy is absolutely embracing his homelessness."
Yes, he's kind of lounging in homelessness.
And I said, "It's not about position; it's about disposition."
You said that.
I did, yeah. I did. I announced to Sainsbury's.
Oh, hello. It's not about position. It's about
disposition. And I went into Sainsbury's. I said, "Excuse me." I had a mic at the time. I had a portable mic. "Excuse me. A lot of you could learn from this fucking ne'er-do-well outside."
Yeah.
He doesn't have a pot to piss in.
He has nothing.
I've rarely seen a happier person.
Yeah.
Smoking his fag. "Oh, hello." And I was
just buzzing off.
Fucking buzzing.
Yeah.
But maybe it's, he's just putting on a brave face. Maybe when everyone's gone.
It's much more likely he's deeply, deeply happy and content.
Or that he's wildly mentally ill and has absolutely
or he's
no
just
idea.
currently on crack.
There's a very mad woman down by Finsbury Park who kind of walks around the bus stop just going, "Can I have a pound, please?" And it's a real desperate, the whole time.
Yeah.
And then one time I was in the kebab shop, which I'm in far too often, the kebab shop at the bus stop at Finsbury Park. Imano, what a place.
You should be going there a bit more often, lad, because you look, we've said this before, and you're not going to be honest about it, but you do look, you've gone too far with the weight loss. He's lost a lot of weight. But
this episode is actually brought to you by Zach Southall Fitness, who's a personal trainer who's helped me. Who's 2 stone. Would you like to lose weight and feel healthy and go to the gym and stuff like that? Check out Zach Southall Fitness on the internet. He's got an Instagram with free tips available, and if you want to work with him on a more permanent basis, you can pay him money every month.
He got you to lose 2 stone.
He's never been
he
more
didn't
depressed.
Tell me to, but he helped guide me on the path to looking all.
He's the saddest
nice.
he's ever been.
Is that true?
Yeah.
That's not true.
He is. You are. You were so sad when I came in this morning.
Yeah, because I had a dodgy whip last night that didn't go very well.
Because he's lost his weight and fucking fat is funny. You're like Samson cutting his hair. Now you're this fucking emaciated goon.
But I don't think you were ever fat. I never would have looked at you and thought...
He was
not like funny fat.
No, but it was funny to me how fat he was. Like he had a little fucking, he had a little fat caboose on him, and then he had a little kind of, a little
I think
bit
I've still got the fat caboose.
Huh?
I've still got the fat caboose.
You've kind of even lost that little. You've lost a lot of your your voluptuousness.
Alfie said to me recently I have a very womanly bottom.
He said you do.
Yeah. Which I'm not against.
I've never given it a good look.
Yeah. I'd say Alfie would give you a rattle if you.
Well, don't.
If you gave him the green light, I'd say Alfie would give you a rattle.
Don't be doing that. Yeah, but you because you're. Did I hear on the grip? Did you tell me ice cream is your big thing?
It's all food, but yeah, ice cream. I will just get.
Because you're saying you have like this kind of like compulsive. You're just like if you're doing something, you're doing it
so
loads.
I count calories, and the only reason I do that is because if I don't do
what
that,
are you on? Let's have an unbelievably boring chat. What number are you?
2400.
Yo, I've never been more jealous of a man.
What are you doing?
1826.
That's low.
Yeah.
But you're trying to. So I'm not trying. I'm just trying to stay where I am.
Stasis. Yeah.
I'd love to gone to the dogs.
And most of that is my kid's piss, I should say.
There we go. Now we're back.
Welcome back, Mike. Welcome back.
The deviants.
But so maybe 2 weeks ago we went out for dinner. And sometimes I'll just be like, I'm not doing it. And I ate so much. Like the amount of food that I can eat when I feel like I'm allowed to is
that was me yesterday.
Insane.
We went for a podcast steak dinner at Hawksmoor, and we just got lit up on steak.
Well, especially when you're like, if the rest of the time you're trying to control it, when you give yourself permission, it's like crazy. I had like a huge burger, giant thing of like chili fries, where it's like, it's a big bowl of fries, but it's also loads of mints and cheddar and stuff like that.
Fucking noise.
And hot wings and dessert. And then I kept eating. I just was eating cheese out of the fridge when I got eating cheddar out of. Once I start, I just can't stop.
I think this is going to be me when I go to America next month. I'm going to be eating everything in fucking sight, man.
Well, touring makes it impossible if you're somewhere else.
Well, I see you with a lunchbox going around. It upsets
I was
me.
in Nando's.
Do you have a lunchbox?
Tupperware?
I have Tupperware, yeah. But I don't take it out. Oh, yeah, I do, yeah.
So I saw you on the road eating some green beans or something.
Yeah.
Like,
no, I did that. Yeah, you're right, yeah.
You're on the road. Eat some fucking crisps. Come on. You can't be that good. Come on now.
Yeah.
You're off caffeine.
Caffeine is just for panicking.
Right.
Yeah. If I'm drinking a lot of coffee, I'll get really anxious.
I'd like more panic in you. Come on. Do you know panic wants company?
Other people's happiness is not your sadness, Mike. I
feel
what?
That's gonna change the game if that ever makes its way from his ears to his brain.
Wait, what did you say?
You just didn't listen enough.
I didn't. I
it was
felt
a very
too busy thinking about pedos or something.
Where are they? Is it one up the tree? I'm seeing out the tree right now and I see something scuttling around and it feels like it's a pedo.
If you could, it's like what do they say?
Do pedos make nests for themselves? Is that...
You know that thing of like, if we could use 100% of our brain, or like we don't use 80% of our brain. You use that whole 80, but it's all pedo hunting. Whole 80.
Do you know what? I was looking at the Wedding Crashers the other day. The movie was just so fucking funny. It really holds up. Although it's quite maybe be a little problematic for today's day and age.
I remember I got really stressed when that was on the TV when I was maybe 13 or 14.
Yeah.
When the montage of ladies landing onto the bed.
Yeah.
And they're in a bra. And then
and that's the music.
The one who actually has her tits out. And it was like me and my brother and maybe like my dad was in the room.
Yeah.
And I remember just being like, just like tits. And I just didn't really know how to like...
How old were you?
Like 13.
Oh, okay.
I was just like, no, like it just caused a real panic in me.
You should be allowed to acknowledge it when you're watching something like that with your family. Like you should get to pause it.
And go, oh,
we all saw that. We all that.
Yeah.
Or don't, but we all have a reaction.
Do like a post-match analysis where you like circle things on the screen.
Like Jamie Carragher. Now what he did there was he went up the line. Yeah. So the tits came out. I'd forgotten about the tits in Wedding Crashers, but my point was there's a part where like Owen Wilson's character, so they're just seducing people at wedding and just making up these sob stories and stuff and all this stuff, and it's this, I suppose, hollow search for pleasure. And then of course his movie goes on, they find real love and stuff, and it's lovely. But anyway, but then he's like, he's on this girl, he's like, that people say that we only use 10% of our brains. Well, I think we only use 10% of our hearts.
That's a great line.
It's just...
That's a good Owen Wilson as well.
Wow.
Or was that Vince Vaughn?
Wow.
Claire's mom made me feel her Hooters. Wow. But yeah, I love Owen Wilson.
He's
What
great.
Patrick said was other people's happiness is not your sadness.
People say that, but I know I
I've
do
never
know
heard that before. I know it's probably like a platitude that exists in the world.
No, it's not. It's not a thing that I've heard. But I just kept feeling. I feel like you don't want Vittorio to lose weight. You don't want me to not be anxious.
Well, no, because for yourselves. Because now, listen, I'm going to bring it around. For him, I think he's developed an eating disorder, and I genuinely think his organs are going to fail.
It's only because I hit the 1826 calories in such an insane way. I eat like a psychopath for half the day and then have a Five Guys.
Right.
Oh, okay. So you're not sticking to it.
I am.
Oh, right.
But it's just in a psychotic
I used to do
way.
that. When I still drank, I would go through phases of... Because there were phases where I was really overweight. I would have times where I was like, I need to lose some weight. So I'd give myself like a 1,600 calorie, but I would include alcohol within that.
Right.
So then I would go to work and just have
nothing.
soup in the day and then drink 1,000 calories in the evening. Because I was like, well, I have to do that. That's the thing I won't negotiate on. And I was just getting sicker and sicker. And
Yes, that's what
I need some
I'm losing
food.
weight though.
losing weight though. I was losing water weight and weight out of my brain.
Right. Yeah. Well, so I know. I'm only messing. I don't want to be anxious, Patrick, and I think that it's good that you've gone clear. You're not a Scientologist.
I am. Yeah.
Because you feel cruisish.
There is a Scientology
You're
vibe
possessed.
to you on some level.
You think?
Well,
That's
you're
one of
just
the
on top
meanest
of
things
stuff.
anyone's ever said.
No.
I am the biggest
Just
Tom
'cause you're
Cruise
very
fan alive.
Proficient.
Yeah.
And you're very in control of your life, it seems.
Yeah, I could see that. But it is all like, I don't want people to think
I think
It's
that like I
fear.
have it
It's
all
fear.
together. Yeah, it's all fear driven. It's all like, I am extremely rigid on things. I have to do things a certain
More
way.
or less Richard than Brian Johnson's son.
You would have been happy when you thought of that.
Yeah. I was very happy.
Yeah, my kid's slightly less rigid than me.
Yeah, a little less. But I'm going to get on this. I'm going to get on the Spicer way of life, and
I would recommend it because it's not like, it is pretty,
right.
everything's got to be
Regimented.
Yeah, I recently read. Have you read Atomic Habits? Have you read this book?
I've seen it on different
Sounds like
places.
something Mike would have read.
No way.
I'm not exaggerating to say it completely changed my life.
Yeah.
Within about one chapter, I was like, great,
You're
I have a new
such a
religion.
loser. Such a loser.
Yeah. Get Jamie Hutchinson on. We need someone eating his own shit.
What the fuck? What did Sapiens freak you out as well? What are we talking about?
Wait, gossip was invented so that humanity could grow?
Fucking pop psychology changed your life?
No, but Atomic.
It's so good. It's non-ironically so good.
What is it? What is he saying? What's the Atomic Habits?
Loads of stuff. But generally, it's just like, have habits and how to have habits and how to get rid
How
of
to
bad
cultivate
habits.
habits.
And
26
stuff
days,
like that.
is that true? I heard that.
I didn't do the time thing, but there's like 4 rules of good habits.
Wow, like the pillars of Islam.
Yeah, there are 4 pillars.
What if I wanted to stop eating Pringles? How would I do that?
There's a whole chapter on that.
Is there a chapter?
There's a whole thing.
They're probably not specifically talking about Pringles, or they could, because I feel that is one of the most addictive
Mike
substances.
Literally
Mike
everything.
eats so many Pringles.
Yeah.
Do you how many Pringles are we eating?
I could eat a tube a day when I'm in, and now I'm in a bad place.
That's so crazy.
When you're in a bad
And I'm in a bad place most of the time.
That's a funny emotional support food.
Yeah. Oh, brother.
A whole tube of Pringles.
I have them at every meal. Scrambled eggs in the morning, Pringles with them. I can have a chicken curry.
And
Later
you
on,
dip
I
huge Pringles as
scoop up the curry
poppadoms.
with the Pringles.
Ooh.
It's very tasty.
What flavour?
Generally sour cream and onion, but the other day I just felt a bit fucking frisky. I was like, you know what? I'm getting Texas barbecue. I don't care. Say what
I
you
would always
want.
go barbecues. Barbecue's the purple one.
That's right.
Yeah.
And I thought people
find
were
that just-
judging me a little in Sainsbury's with the purple one. I was like, well, I can do what I want.
I think you should read the book and see if it stops you from eating Pringles.
yeah, I think
Because it's really straight. A lot of the things are really straightforward. I don't want to keep talking about this.
No,
It's
no,
gonna
no.
sound like I'm advertising it. But it's
It's
like...
Scientology though, isn't it? Or no?
It's, you just have to go clear.
You've
you just
gone
have
clear?
to, I've gone completely clear.
Right.
No, there's like 4 things, and one of the things is like So I always think, I don't know about you guys, when I'm trying not to do something, if I fail in that, I think I'm a failure. I'm like, if you're trying to like eat less and you keep overeating, you're like, well, that's because I suck. Inherently, I'm just fucking useless. But often it's like one of these 4 things, which is why you're doing that behavior. And one of them is like, it's obvious. So like, you eating Pringles all the time, it might be like you're passing a Sainsbury's every day on the way home and you think about Pringles, so you buy Pringles.
And they're so good though, Spicer. What about that?
And they're so tasty.
What about that element?
Yeah, so one of them is...
that they make life worth living. What about that element of it?
yeah.
What about that part of it?
Yeah, I think there's something on there about that. But you would make it less, try and find a way to make it less enjoyable.
And what about then...
Also, I don't think you need to stop eating Pringles. I don't think it's necessarily...
Well, don't encourage me now, please. I don't need encouragement.
What's the problem with eating Pringles?
If I'm eating Pringles and it's been Spicer approved, it's going to get out of control.
You will live another 20 years if you eat an extra box. But you're not like out of shape. There's nothing wrong. I don't know why you would need to.
No, he's getting a little bit fat.
Do you think so?
I'm quite
Is
heavy.
that what this podcast is? Just you two fat shaming each other?
A little bit.
No, I'm getting skinny shamed. It's kind of strange.
Yeah.
Okay. So if I want to stop, what about wanking? What about that? If I'm doing that a little too much, what do you think? How could I make that?
Well, it's every time you walk past Sainsbury's, you think about wanking.
Right. Sainsbury's and then...
Sainsbury's is the trigger for you in all things.
Well, I just think Pringles, that's kind of the gateway to a wank as well.
Do you think the guy who wrote Atomic Habits, when he wrote it, he was like, I have become life, creator of worlds? That's pretty good.
Oppenheimer?
Yeah, Oppenheimer, but I don't...
Right, the opposite of Oppenheimer?
Atomic. Instead of a bomb, he created a habit?
Maybe.
Right.
I thought that was...
Nah.
It really, I mean, it bombed.
It bombed.
Fucking hard.
Pretty hard. I just didn't even understand what you were talking about.
For an Oppenheimer joke, that was pretty fucking bad by me.
Hiroshima. There, yeah.
Absolutely Nagasaki.
The podcast there. That was disgusting what you did, you fucking asshole.
Is it 26 days to create a habit? That's apparently if you do something every day for 26 days. Or is that get debunked?
I think he has like a course. He's called James Clear.
Yeah.
You've gone clear. You're a Scientologist.
You are
JC.
JC. They're always called JC.
Top Gun Spicer. I like it. Can I ask you this now? And ask me what's the remedy for this? The other day, I went down I got my bed sheets. I was like, I'm going to wash my bed sheets. I said, by God, I'm going to be a Patrick Spicer. I'm going to get my life under control. So I take off my sheets. I go down, put them in the washing machine, whatever. I'm like, great. And then later that evening, I was like, I forgot to put my fucking bed sheets out, right? So the next day, anyway, I woke up in the morning and I went to, and the bed sheets were still in the washing machine. And I was like, and I went to like feel, I was like, I better put them out, and they were dry. They were dry. I was like, oh my God, unbelievable. They just dried in the washing machine. I don't even know how that happened. It's like, oh, great. So I got them out anyway. I was like, that's brilliant. Nature just, and miracle of nature. Went up, put them back on my bed. And put all the pillows back on as well. And then lay down on the bed. And then I was like, oh, this is kind of still kind of smelly, these sheets. And then, I realised I hadn't turned on the washing machine at all. How would I sort that out? What does the guy say about that sort of thing?
I thought you were going to say that you took someone else's bed sheets. I thought that's where I was going.
No, I just put them in the washing machine, didn't turn it on, came back a day later, took them out and put them back on my bed.
Yeah.
They've been in the wash.
Yeah.
They've been in the wash.
They've been in a clean space. They've been in a clean space.
I guess they have. But does he?
What's the solution?
But what would he say about that? Like, how do I stop doing things like that?
Do you have multiple sets of bed sheets now?
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I do actually. But the problem was the last time I took my bed sheets off that I didn't, and then
it was pre-COVID.
What? was before the Berlin Wall fell, and after that I just wasn't in the mood anymore. After the Berlin Wall fell, I was kind of like,
riding that high. Yeah. Do you know what? Whatever. Everything's okay.
Yeah.
Let's give peace a chance.
Yeah. Yeah, and then but the last time I took my bed sheets off, I just put them in a drawer, and I just. And I put them in a drawer without washing them, and I forgot.
Did you fold them up?
No. I'm more of a scrunch.
Yeah,
folding a fitted sheet is a tricky thing.
You need two people for that.
That's a tricky
But
thing.
I'm the wrong person. I never wash my sheets and towels. I've never washed.
Man, I've just got a second towel.
My girlfriend's really good for that.
We bought him a set. He only had one towel.
Yeah,
one towel.
We bought him a second towel.
Yeah, I didn't. I used to only have one towel.
That's right.
Because it dries. And it washes itself.
They get stinky.
You're clean when you get out of the shower.
Towels get stinky.
Towels do get stinky, brother. There's nothing. But then sometimes you're like, hey, I'm a stinky boy. Lean in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Turn into the skid.
Yeah.
It's not that the towel stinks. I stink. I'm stinking up the towel.
Maybe the
towel's not stinking up
the
me.
whole world stinks. What about that?
Yeah, that's true.
That's
What
right.
about that? What's the point in washing when when the system is itself stinks?
I'll clean myself when everyone can.
That's right.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna get married until.
I'm not using a towel until everyone on earth has their own towel.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't think there's I think
That's quite a Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy perspective on things.
Yeah.
Thank you.
But Spicer, you're an Irish man, I've decided.
Well, he is.
I'm half
true?
Irish.
He's
Yeah.
half Irish.
Yeah.
Would you identify with that half?
Yeah, I don't know really. I don't know because my mum.
You're a
Mum
London
had
boy.
Irish parents, but I was born in London, so she grew up in a very Irish culture, and some of that seeped through.
Right.
Like singing.
Yeah.
Was always like people would just be drunk and then start taking turns singing songs.
Would you sing a song?
No.
No.
No, it was the most embarrassing thing, I think. The most embarrassing part of my childhood was listening to my drunk mother, grandmother,
What
aunts
was
and
your
uncles,
mother's
cousins.
party piece? What was she singing?
Dimming of the Day was a classic. Do you know Dimming of the Day? Very depressing. They're all so depressing.
They're bad songs.
They're good songs, and everybody for some reason could sing, but they were all just extremely depressing. Just about someone dying or like
Yeah.
a crop failing. It would always just be something horrible.
Yeah.
I think that was the root of my drinking stuff. Was like partly my family all drank so much, but part of it was like they would start to sing, and I would just have to drink to not
hear them
just
anymore.
Like, I can't fucking listen to another, and it would be hours.
Yeah, into the small hours
early in the morning.
Yeah.
That's probably the most Irish cultural thing that seeped through. I would say
We do that as well. Sometimes we all sing songs. And I actually do. There's a lot of songs I do love. Like I love the Old Triangle. I think that's a great one.
Because there's a Johnny Any bit.
There was actually one of the cast members of SNL. This very guy who's blown up right now. Marcello is his name.
Yeah.
Have you seen this guy?
Domingo.
Yeah,
He's so funny.
He's so funny. He's amazing.
Yeah.
Man, I hung around with. I was at a table in the Stand in New York, the comedy club, and I was there to see Gabby Bryan, and. Because I said Bryant yesterday and that was incorrect, you said. So
It's just,
yeah. But anyway, I was there to see her and everything. And then he just came around and he was there and there's a lot of comics like hanging around the table. And I was pretty fucking 3 sheets to the wind, you know, I was drunk. But he was just absolutely murdering at the table.
Yeah.
Like, it was just so clear. It was like, oh my God, you're Robin Williams, you're Eddie Murphy, you're just a fucking... It's coming out of your
He
ears.
just seemed. Someone showed me this. It wasn't even. It was the one where he's like. It was on Update, and he's like the boyfriend. He's like the boyfriend of this very like straight, like very prim girl, and then he's just this like mad, and he's just like the charisma, like the volume. Like when I see people like that, I'm like, why am I even fucking doing this?
Oh, brother,
like, that guy is just pure.
That's right. But he's like generational. It's like when you look at people who are just forces of nature. I think Robin Williams, Jim Carrey, Eddie Murphy, Will Ferrell is up that. Who it's just like they're just you're a star, and I'm not quite with that. I can work as a comedian, but like that's like
also there's not enough work for those people to do everything.
Right.
Like if we only cast like generationally brilliant people.
That's right.
You'd only have 5 shows and 6 movies. We have to have some movies that are not as good.
Yeah.
And we can be in those.
And we can be in a few. I'd love to be in a stinker.
Yeah,
I love the humility of like, I'm only going to be in the movies.
I'll be in a blockbuster that gets 85% on Rotten. I don't need 90.
I'll take an 85% RT.
85 for a comedy is
score or
insane.
critic score?
Yeah, it's
I like
sick.
the ones that get like 90% critic score and then like 10% audience. I always want to watch those to be like, or the other way around.
I think that's the dynamic of this podcast. You got an audience score, critic score.
Yeah.
And I'm Metacritic. I'm way off on all kinds.
Yeah.
What?
But so we were outside after, so we were in drinking. He's just killing everything. I remember and I was sitting there, I was kind of drunk, and there's times I was thinking, say something funny now. You say something funny, but I was just,
worst.
and then I kind of go, yeah. And then I said to him, I goes, what was Paul Mescal like when he was on the show? And then he was like, oh man, he was cool. And I was like, that's the end of my questions. You know? And then I was quiet for another while, and then they were chatting, and I was like, I come from Ireland, and they were like, yeah, okay. And then then I was kind of like, oh, I shouldn't have said that. And then I was just sitting there like an old soaked wet. I was wet with booze, and I hadn't boozed in I think 2 weeks, and I had drank I drank like 9 Bud Lights and like pints of Bud Light, and I was just there. And again, I was like, this shit just dulls you. Like, I'm just a fucking wet fucking bag of shite here, and this beautiful Latino superstar is making everyone laugh, and I'm just telling people I'm from Ireland. It was weird. And then we were outside, and I was still there because I was just hanging around. I was him and these other comics, and then I don't know what, they were just standing there, and I was like, where's everyone going? And they're like, I don't know, which way are you going? I was like, yeah, we're going there then. We're going the other way then. And then, but then they decided, I think as a gesture to me, to sing the old triangle. So this superstar from SNL just started singing. That's
like a lovely Latino twink.
The old triangle. And then I knew, and this is where I could join in. I was like, when jingle, jangle. And we sang the old triangle outside the pub.
Why did they know that?
Because he's just a superstar. He knows how to make people happy.
Wow, that is crazy.
You didn't find that like patronizing at all?
I was too drunk. I loved it. I couldn't believe it. I was utterly charmed.
Yeah, that does sound...
And it was my only way into
like... staggering off into the streets of New York like, whoa, this is so good.
But you're never less funny, you as like anyone, as when you're like teeing up your next thing you're going to say.
That's right.
When other people are crushing and you're just like, oh God, I've got to, and then it comes, because that's not how conversations work.
Nah.
Like if you have expectation about the response, you're going to be like that atomic thing you said
was
earlier.
Really bad.
I mean, you'd obviously invested a lot of your personality into that.
Yeah.
So it's a horrible feeling.
A lot of his self-worth was riding on that going well.
It fucking sucked.
You needed it.
Yeah.
And also, like, you're in New York, everyone, it's like you're not comfortable.
Yeah. No, but when we all sang that and everyone sang the I think they knew they had to. It's like, okay, well, we can't have a conversation with this guy because he's literally,
you can probably sing.
He's literally drooling, and I think he might start trying to fucking eat one of the wing mirrors off a car. So let's just give him the only thing he can possibly do. And the triangle, like jingle.
You're like Father Jack in the back of the room, just
completely. And then I wandered off into the night, just being like, they're lovely lads. And then I kind of wandered off. If you show CCTV, it's just me on my own. And
just watching SNL on your phone. Yeah. This guy's funny.
And then they start singing the old triangle.
They're not responding to what I'm saying.
Yeah. But that guy, man, he is fucking...
Yeah, he's funny.
He's young, dumb, and full of
cum.
cum.
We're going to the Patreon.
Oh, we're an hour?
Yeah.
Come on. What the... An hour and 7? Okay.
We've given the pigs more than they're worth.
More than they're worth. Okay.
Bonus.
Lads, Patreon.
2 tickets, tickets. Patrick's on tour.
Spicer.
I'm on tour.
Patrick's on tour.
All over Europe, all over the UK, Ireland, Europe. Tour going on. When does this go out? This Friday, something like that?
No,
this week, next week.
Out. Let me see.
Yeah.
Patrick, this goes out on the 3rd of April.
Right.
3rd of April. Okay. I think there's still Oxford, Bristol, Birmingham, Switzerland, all over the place.
I can find where you're on tour. Let me use the internet.
Yeah.
We have Cork, Collins, extra show just added. It says here on the internet. We have Belfast, last few, lovely little venue, the Black Box.
Yep.
Very, very fun. We have Birmingham, we have Leeds, Glasgow, Edinburgh, Newcastle, Manchester, Zurich, Basel, Munich, Nottingham, Cambridge, London, Bristol, Copenhagen. Lovely batch of dates there. Lovely places.
Nice.
Get along, see Patrick's show. It's great. Patrick's great. Everybody's great. I am in right now when this comes out. I'll be doing my last few shows at Melbourne Comedy Festival. Hopefully those have sold well already. If not, come along and see. And then I'm in America, Chicago, New York, Toronto, Boston, Philadelphia. And I'm also at Moon Tower Comedy Festival in Austin if you want to come and say hello to that. Unless between now and then my visa gets rejected. And then I won't be there.
Finsbury Park Tennis Court. Me and Radu, 9 a.m. October.
Big lead time for your follow-up game.
We're leaving a bit of time, letting us kind of reassess. No, watch it. If you haven't seen my special, give it a watch. It's on YouTube. I don't know why when I type in Mike Rice comedy now my first special comes up ahead of the second one.
Did I not fix that?
No, it's gone broken again. Anyway, give that a watch. I have shows in Switzerland coming up in May, at the start of May. They'll be in my Linktree, links for that, and there'll be other stuff as well.
And we'll be at the Edinburgh Fringe.
We'll be at the Edinburgh Fringe. That's right. And I'll be. I'll probably my tour is probably on sale now, to be honest. Probably. I don't know. My tour is probably on sale. Check out MikeRiceComedy.com for that. Oh, who gives a fuck? It is, though. I think it will be on sale. I forgot about that. Anyway, you forget when these things come out, don't you?
It's a masterclass of self-promotion.
All right. See you on Patreon. We shall continue.
Bye.
Fuck! I forgot my tour is going to be out.